Chapter 2784, Beiping, the sect leader of the Taiyi Celestial Sect. Tai He, the left guardian of Taiyi Celestial Sect, was now the most popular figure in Taiyi Celestial Sect because he had just broken through and became the third 7-star Celestial Duke in Taiyi Celestial Sect. Moreover, rumors were flying in the sect that the sect leader of the Taiyi Celestial Sect was preparing to grant the title of the second supreme elder of the sect. Under Tai He's instructions, an elder of the Taiyi Celestial Sect guided Kinyu through the process of becoming a disciple of the also Taiyi Celestial Sect. Due to Tai He's personal recommendation, the elder was polite to Kinyu from the very beginning. After seeing this, Duan Lingtan felt more at ease. Therefore, he and Huana left with Tai He to meet the sect leader of Taiyi Celestial Sect with peace of mind. After Tai He left with Duan Lingtan and Huana, the elder of the Taiyi Celestial Sect, an old man with grey hair but a youthful complexion, was very nice to Kinyu as he guided him through the process of joining the sect. Out of curiosity, he asked, "Young man, do you mind me asking what's your relationship with Guardian Tai?" "Elder Lin." Kinyu smiled bitterly. "If I said that it was my first time meeting Guardian Tai today, would you believe it?" "The first time meeting Guardian Tai?" The Elder Lin, was stunned upon hearing Kinyu's answer. Then, he shook his head and said, "How's that possible? Earlier, Guardian Tai was very serious when he asked to take care of you. I'm sure you have a much deeper relationship." "Naturally. If you're unwilling to disclose the reason to me, I won't force you." Elder Lin had an understanding expression on his face. "Elder Lin, I'm telling the truth." Kinyu sighed before he recounted everything that happened today. "In the end," he said, "it won't take long before today's incident spread through Taiyi City and the Taiyi Celestial Sect. At that time, Elder Lin, you'll know if I'm telling the truth or not." Then, that purple-clad young man earlier. He's a prominent celestial alchemist. Elder Lin was shocked and in disbelief when he heard Kinyu's words. Guardian Tai publicly promised that as long as the purple-clad young man is willing to join our Taiyi Celestial Sect, he will be given the title of Chief Celestial Alchemist in the sect. Elder Lin was just an ordinary elder in Taiyi Celestial Sect, and he was just an overarching Heaven Supreme Celestial. However, he had been in the Taiyi Celestial Sect for a long time. For this reason, he knew Tai He's character rather well. He knew Tai He was not someone who would speak without thinking. It was not impossible for him to lie about something like that just to get the purple-clad young man to join the Taiyi Celestial Sect. The title of Chief Celestial Alchemist represented high honors in the Taiyi Celestial Sect and among the Celestial Alchemists in the sect. Only the most skilled Celestial Alchemist would be given that title. Doesn't this mean the purple-clad young man is more skilled than all the prominent Celestial Alchemists in the Taiyi Celestial Sect? Otherwise, I'm sure Guardian Tai wouldn't recklessly make such a promise. Elder Lin was thoroughly shocked. It took him a long time to regain his senses. When he looked at Kinyu again, his eyes were brimming with envy. "Young man, you have made a great friend." Elder Lin sighed. "Yes, having a friend like him is the greatest blessing in my life." Kinyu nodded. A hint of gratitude flashed in his eyes. Indeed, he felt incredibly grateful toward Duan Lingtan. If it were not for Duan Lingtan, he would not have been given a chance to join the Taiyi Celestial Sect, one of the 3 major celestial sects of the wasteland. Meanwhile, Tai He continued leading Duan Lingtan and Huana up, passing the 90 mediocre celestial islands, and the 900 primitive celestial island. It did not take long before they arrived where the 9 prominent celestial islands were located. The entire place was misty again, and multiple formations could be seen in the air. This place was hidden behind the clouds and mist, and multiple formations were arranged in the air. If it were not for Tai He, the Taiyi Celestial Sect's left guardian, leading the way, Duan Lingtan would not be able to find his way here. Even with Huana who had a profound cultivation base, it still would have been impossible for them to find their way. After all, as strong as she was just an Earth-rank overarching Heavenly Supreme Celestial. On the other hand, The high-ranking officials of the Taiyi celestial sect who cultivated on the 9 prominent celestial islands were all first-class celestial dukes. Even the weakest among them was a one basic celestial duke who was much stronger than a peak overarching heavenly supreme celestial. The 9 prominent celestial islands were hidden behind the sea of clouds like neatly arranged fortresses. One of the prominent celestial islands was in the center, surrounded by the other 8 prominent celestial islands, just like how the stars surrounded the moon. Among the 8 prominent celestial islands, 3 were in the formation circle while the other 5 were outside the formation. After Tai he took Duan Lingtan and Huana to a vast house on the center prominent celestial island. He greeted the person inside respectfully. Sect leader, Master Duan is here. During their journey here, he had already sent a communication celestial talisman to the sect leader of the Taiyi celestial sect and informed him that Duan Lingtan would be joining the Taiyi celestial sect. Therefore, there was no longer any need for him to explain the reason he had brought Duan Lingtan here. Therefore, he did not have to further explain why he had brought Duan Lingtan here. I'm Bai Ping, the sect leader of the Taiyi celestial sect. Master Duan, welcome to our sect. As soon as Bai Ping spoke, Duan Lingtan could sense Bai Ping's powerful aura from inside the vast house. Soon after, a tall figure dressed in white robes emerged from the house. The figure belonged to a middle-aged man. He had sword-like eyebrows and strong features. He had a majestic air about him, even though his smile was as refreshing as a spring breeze. It was obvious this person was Bai Ping, the sect leader of the Taiyi celestial sect. Sect leader. Duan Lingtan nodded and greeted Bai Ping. Bai Ping smiled slightly at Duan Lingtan. The moment his eyes fell on Huana, he averted his eyes immediately. Even then, a hint of amazement could be seen in his eyes. After all, this was his first time seeing such a flawless beauty. However, there was still an awestruck look in his eyes. Although he had lived for a long time, and his heart had long become like a still lake, he still felt a slight ripple in his heart. However, his reaction was just the natural instinct of man. There were no nefarious or lecherous thoughts behind it. Moreover, he had also told him through a communication celestial talisman that he had killed Huang Zhao for lusting over this woman. Regarding this matter, he agreed with He's actions. Naturally, he also learned about he killing the celestial dukes from the Thousand Spiders celestial sect and the Martial Dragon celestial sect, but he was not bothered. After all, he had a valid reason for his actions. Master Duan, Bai Ping looked at Duan Lingtan and bluntly said, the promise made to you by Guardian Tai is supported by the Taiyi celestial sect to you. I trust his judgment. Since he said you're skilled enough to become our Taiyi celestial sect's chief celestial alchemist, then, you'll be our Taiyi celestial sect's chief celestial alchemist from now on. In fact, he trusted Duan Lingtan because he had told him that Duan Lingtan could refine the prominent celestial pill, the overarching heaven pill. The other prominent celestial alchemists in the Taiyi celestial sect were not capable of such a feat. However, something seemed to flash in Bai Ping's mind. He looked at Duan Lingtan and said, however, Master Duan, before announcing your position as the chief celestial alchemist of our sect, I want you to meet and have a discussion with the 3 other prominent celestial alchemists of our sect. What do you think about that? Duan Lingtan glanced at Bai Ping knowingly as though he could read Bai Ping's mind and said, Sect leader Bai Ping, you want me to have a discussion with those 3 prominent celestial alchemists so I can show them that I'm worthy of being the chief celestial alchemist of the Taiyi celestial sect, right? Master Duan, there's no need for you to do much. All you have to do is refine an overarching heaven pill in front of them. After witnessing it, they will, naturally, have no objection and will be convinced of your skills. Bai Ping replied. What if I don't want to refine the overarching heaven pill in front of them or have a discussion with them? Duan Lingtan asked. If that's the case, sect leader Bai Ping, are you still going to make me the chief celestial alchemist of the Taiyi celestial sect? If you're unwilling, I can leave now. Duan Lingtan glanced at Bai Ping after speaking. Bai Ping was rendered speechless by Duan Lingtan's words. He did not expect Duan Lingtan to say this. If Duan Lingtan did not prove his ability in front of the three prominent celestial alchemists of their Taiyi celestial sect, and he rashly made Duan Lingtan the chief celestial alchemist of the sect, the other three prominent celestial alchemists would definitely be dissatisfied and might even leave the sect in a fit of anger. Although the three prominent celestial alchemists of Taiyi celestial sect were all revered elders in the sect, their attachment to the sect was not very strong, so they could leave the sect without much thought. Master Duan Tai's expression changed slightly when he heard Duan Lingtan's words. However, Bai Ping interjected before Tai could finish speaking. He said solemnly, "Master Duan, if you're against it, then, we'll do as you wish. I'll announce that you're the chief celestial alchemist of our Taiyi celestial sect even if you don't wish to speak to the other prominent celestial alchemists." Sect leader Tai's expression changed drastically. Although he knew Duan Lingtan was highly skilled compared to the three prominent celestial alchemists of the Taiyi celestial sect, he did not think it was worth it to lose three prominent celestial alchemists over Duan Lingtan alone. Huh? Duan Lingtan was a little surprised when he heard Bai Ping's words. After looking at the anxious Tai, he looked at Bai Ping again and said with a faint smile, "Sect leader Bai Ping, I was just joking. Please arrange for me to meet the three celestial alchemists." Arrange for me to meet the three celestial alchemists. 182, the Crown Prince. It was obvious to anyone with a discerning eye to see that Tai had asked Duan Lingtan to officially join the Taiyi celestial sect, so Tai would have a valid and justified reason to kill Teng King, the elder from the martial dragon celestial sect, and Xlang, and the guardian of the thousand spiders celestial sect. Naturally, Tai did not need an excuse to kill Huang Zhao since they were members of the same sect. Even if the sect leader of the Taiyi celestial sect, the sect leader would likely just lightly chide him. After all, not only was he a left guardian of the Taiyi sect, but he was an asset as 7-star celestial duke. His value was, naturally, much higher than Huang Zhao. On the other hand, Teng King and Xlang were different since they were not from the Taiyi celestial sect. Moreover, they were from 2 out of the 3 major celestial sects in the wasteland. Therefore, Tai needed a valid reason to kill both of them. Otherwise, he would risk offending the other 2 major celestial sects and cause unnecessary trouble to the Taiyi celestial sect. Hence, he found a reason to kill Teng King and Teng King on the basis that they had offended the Taiyi celestial sect's chief celestial alchemist. Even if the other 2 major celestial sect intended to make a fuss over this matter, they would not be able to do so. Duan Lingtan. Kinyu looked at the purple-clad young man next to him with an expression of shock and incredulity. Prior to this, he had assumed Duan Lingtan was only a primitive celestial alchemist. However, after witnessing what had just transpired, it was obvious Duan Lingtan was a prominent celestial alchemist. Apart from that, after Duan Lingtan had agreed to join the Taiyi celestial sect, the sect's left guardian who was a 7-star celestial duke had killed the 3 celestial dukes on Duan Lingtan's behalf. How could he not be shocked? Everyone still had not recovered from the shock of Huang Zhao, Teng King, and Xlang's deaths when Tai looked at Duan Lingtan and asked with a smile, "Celestial Alchemist Duan, are you satisfied with the way I dealt with the matter?" Duan Lingtan nodded. Then, he pointed at Kinyu and asked, "Guardian Tai, this is my friend. Is it possible for him to join the Taiyi celestial sect as well?" Duan Lingtan. Kinyu was rather shocked by Duan Lingtan's words. When he regained his composure, he could not help the happiness and excitement that welled up in his heart. He looked at Duan Lingtan with an expression of gratitude on his face. After all, he was just someone from a mansion in the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, an intermediate rank Celestial Kingdom. He was not even qualified to join the Wasteland Grand Contest. It was certain that he would not be able to join any of the 3 major celestial sects of the Wasteland with his qualifications. Even then, it did not stop his yearning to join one of the three major celestial sects. How could he not be excited upon hearing Duan Lingtan's words? After looking at Duan Lingtan with an expression of gratitude again, he turned to look at Tai Tai He hopefully. As long as Tai Tai nodded, he would be able to join the Tai Celestial Sect. With Tai Tai He's status as the left guardian of the Tai Celestial Sect and a 7-star Celestial Duke, anything was possible. Apart from Tai Tai He, the Tai Celestial Sect only had another 2 7-star Celestial Dukes, and one of them was the sect leader. Even if Tai Tai He was not a 7-star Celestial Duke, he would still be able to easily let someone join the sect even if he was still a 6 combination Celestial Duke. This is not a problem. Tai Tai He glanced at Kinyu before he said to Duan Lingtan with a smile, "Celestial Alchemist Duan, since you've decided to join our Tai Celestial Sect, should I bring you to meet the sect leader? Your friend can come with us as well, and I'll arrange for him to join our sect." It seemed as though he was eager to bring Duan Lingtan back to the sect with him because he was afraid Duan Lingtan would suddenly change his mind. Therefore, he added Kinyu in the conversation as an added incentive. "Sure." Duan Lingtan nodded. He bade farewell to Long Fian and Kuling before he left with Tai Tai He with Huana and Kinyu in tow. He did not spare anyone from the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, including Long Dongping, the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Nevertheless, none of them felt dissatisfied. They only looked on respectfully as Duan Lingtan left. All of them knew Duan Lingtan was destined to be someone they would have to look up to for the rest of their lives. Even if he was not made the chief celestial alchemist in the Tai Celestial Sect, even as a prominent celestial alchemist in the Tai Sect, his station was far above them. After Duan Lingtan left with the others, Long Dongping looked at Long Fian asked with a slight frown on his face, 13th son, why didn't you inform me that Duan Lingtan is also a prominent celestial alchemist? Long Fian looked at Long Dongping and said with a self-mocking smile, Father, would you have believed me if I informed you about it? Wouldn't you just think I was trying to cheat a prominent celestial pill cauldron from you? Long Dongping said self-righteously, well, even if I don't believe you, as long as you get him to conjure up his prominent celestial fire to prove he's a prominent celestial alchemist, I definitely believe it. Prove his identity as a prominent celestial alchemist? Long Fian laughed. Father, do you think that he cares if you know he's a prominent celestial alchemist or not? Why would he prove himself to you just because you want him to? His laughter was tinged with a hint of ridicule. After Long Fian, the 13th prince, finished speaking, Long Xiangyun, the 4th prince, and Long Qingyun, the 7th prince, glared at Long Fian. They were clearly trying to add fuel to the fire as they both cried out in unison, 13th brother, how dare you? 13th brother, do you really think that you can be rude to father just because you have that man's support? Long Xiangyun and Long Qingyun wanted this matter to blow up. They hoped their father would be so infuriated that he would kick Long Fian out of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom's imperial family. At that time, even if Duan Lingtan supported Long Fian's bid to the throne, Long Fian would no longer be qualified to inherit the throne. Alas, their plans were destined to fail. How could Long Dongping not know the thoughts in Long Xiangyun and Long Qingyun's mind? Not only was he the emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, but he was also their father. In the end, he said, Fian is right. A prominent celestial alchemist doesn't need to care whether I know of his identity. Long Dongping's words that seemed to agree with Long Fian made Long Xiangyun and Long Qingyun's expression darkened. They were well aware now that they had lost to Long Fian. Nobody saw it coming when Long Dongping made a sudden and shocking announcement. I, Long Dongping, the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, declares that from today onward, Long Fian, the 13th prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, is the crown prince. Once I abdicate, he'll be the next emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. His voice was loud and clear. When everyone heard it, an uproar broke out instantly. Father, Long Xiangyun and Long Qingyun cried out in unison. Their expressions had changed drastically. Although they had always known Long Fian was superior to them in many aspects, They did not expect in their wildest dreams that their father would make Longfian the crown prince and the next emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. They would have been more willing to accept their defeat if Longfian ascended the throne solely with Duan Lingtan's support. However, they felt it difficult to swallow the indignity when their father was the one who willingly put Longfian on their throne. Both of their expressions were extremely unsightly at this moment. Did their father not have a prejudice against Longfian? Their father even suspected that Longfian was not his biological son. Why would their father make a sudden 180 turn and make Longfian the crown prince and the next emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom? Your Royal Highness, the Crown Prince. Your Royal Highness, the Crown Prince. Meanwhile, the people of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom knew how to act. Now that the wind had changed, they bowed to Longfian respectfully. After seeing Longfian's relationship with Duan Lingtan and hearing Long Dongping's words, they knew Longfian would only rise in ranks. Crown Prince? Longfian was startled when Long Dongping declared him as the Crown Prince. He only regained his senses when the people bowed to him and addressed him as the Crown Prince. Then, he looked at Long Dongping. He wondered why his father would suddenly support him. At the same time, Long Dongping regarded Longfian with a complicated gaze. He had never treated this son of his well since he was not certain if this son was his biological son. Nevertheless, due to the incident today, he knew he had to take the initiative to declare this son as the Crown Prince of their Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Otherwise, he might not be able to hold on to his position as the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom for long. Although the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom was not under the governance of the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect and not the Taiyi Celestial Sect, with the support of an extraordinary prominent Celestial Alchemist and the Left Guardian of the Taiyi Celestial Sect, they could easily support Longfian, his son, and make his son the next emperor. After all, the Left Guardian of the Taiyi Celestial Sect was a 7-star Celestial Duke. As long as it did not cross the bottom line, the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect would certainly show respect to 7-star Celestial Duke and do him a small favor like the selection of a candidate for the throne of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. At that time, he might even be forced to abdicate. If he made Longfian a crown prince now, perhaps, he might be able to stay as an emperor for a little while longer. Chapter 2783, The Taiyi Celestial Sect's Estate. Naturally, Long Dongping, the emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, was capable of casting Longfian out of the imperial family. Although it would make it slightly difficult for Taiyi to make a non-member of the imperial family an emperor, it was not entirely impossible if Taiyi persisted. However, Long Dongping did not intend to cast the Longfian out. After all, there were many downsides to it. He would risk offending Taiyi and the Taiyi Celestial Sect for one, and he knew he could not afford to offend either of them. The only counter-step of now was to make Longfian the crown prince. This way, he would not offend Taiyi, the Taiyi Celestial Sect, and Duan Lingtan. In addition, he would be able to hold on to his position as emperor for a few more years. Based on this, it could be seen he was only doing this for his personal gain. In the face of his personal gain, it did even matter any more to him whether Longfian was his biological son or not. When Longfian finally regained his senses, he quickly expressed his gratitude. "Thank you, father." His face was red with excitement and joy even though knew his father who had never favored him only made this decision for his own benefit and because of his relationship with Duan Lingtan who had a great relationship with Taiyi, the Left Guardian of the Taiyi Celestial Sect and a 7-star Celestial Duke, one of the strongest beings in the wasteland. After perfunctorily thanking his father, he looked in the direction where Duan Lingtan and the others had left. It was the direction where the Taiyi Celestial Sect, one of the 3 major celestial sects in the wasteland, was located. He murmured softly, "Duan Lingtan, thank you." Duan Lingtan was, naturally, unaware of what had transpired after he had left. With Huana and Kinyu in tow, he followed Taiyi's lead to the Taiyi Celestial Sect's estate. When they exited Taiyi City, Taiyi carried 3 of them with his energy and moved at an exaggerated speed. After half an hour, Taiyi announced, "We've arrived." Duan Lingtan saw they had arrived at a place that was shrouded with dense mist that obscured most of his sight. Taken aback, Duan Lingtan asked, "This is the Taiyi Celestial Sect's estate?" Ginyu, who was standing next to Duan Lingtan, was baffled as well. "Brother Lingtan, there's another world behind the white mist," Huana said. Upon listening to Huana's words, Duan Lingtan extended his divine consciousness and discovered there was another world just like Huana had said. "Tai Tai," he said enthusiastically, "you're very observant, Miss Huana." Then, before Duan Lingtan withdrew divine consciousness, Tai Tai he waved his hand, and a gust of wind blew and dispersed the mist completely, revealing many floating islands. Tai Tai he explained, "This is our Taiyi Celestial Sect's estate. We have a total of 999 celestial islands, and they're divided into prominent celestial islands, mediocre celestial islands, and primitive celestial islands." It seemed like the Taiyi Celestial Sect referred to the floating islands as celestial islands. Apart from that, Duan Lingtan also learned that out of the 999 celestial islands, the sect has 9 prominent celestial islands, 90 mediocre celestial islands, and 900 primitive celestial islands. The prominent celestial islands were the cultivation area for the powerhouses who were celestial dukes or stronger. These prominent celestial islands had the best cultivation environment in the Taiyi Celestial Sect. Its spirit-gathering formation was directly connected to the center of the primitive celestial crystal vein the sect owned. It was one of the 3 primitive celestial crystal veins that were in the wasteland. The other 2 were owned by the 2 major celestial sects. The spirit-gathering formation on the mediocre celestial islands were also directly connected to the primitive celestial crystal vein but not to the center. For that reason, the cultivation environment on the mediocre celestial islands was not as good as the prominent celestial islands. The mediocre celestial islands were given to the overarching heavenly supreme celestials and above. Most of them were ordinary elders and excellent disciples in the sect. Lastly, the cultivation environment of the primitive celestial islands was, naturally, much more inferior to the mediocre celestial islands, let alone the prominent celestial islands. It was the cultivation location for those members who were weaker than overarching heavenly supreme celestials. Additionally, it was where most of the public assembly places were located. For this reason, the primitive celestial islands were livelier compared to the mediocre celestial islands and the prominent celestial islands. After Tai Tai he explained the different celestial islands in the Taiyi Celestial Sect, he looked at Ginyu before shifting his attention to Duan Lingtan and said, "Celestial Alchemist Duan, should I arrange the accommodation for you and your companions first before we meet Lord Sect Leader?" "Sure." Duan Lingtan nodded. Then, he said, "However, my friend came here without notifying his family. After settling in, I hope Guardian Tai can bring him back to Taiyi City so he can notify his family about this." "Of course, this is but a small matter." Tai Tai he nodded with a smile on his face. Upon hearing Duan Lingtan's words, Ginyu looked at Duan Lingtan appreciatively, feeling moved. After all, he really wished to inform his family about this. Him being able to join the Taiyi Celestial Sect was, indeed, great news to King Qin's mansion that was under the governance of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. Suddenly, Duan Lingtan seemed to have recalled something. His eyes gleamed coldly as he said, "There's no doubt the circulation of Huana's portraits is the doing of the imperial family of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. I hope Guardian Tai can help me deal with this matter. If possible, make King Qin of the King Qin's mansion, who's also the uncle of this friend of mine, the new emperor of Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom." When Ginyu heard Duan Lingtan, his breathing quickened. His eyes brightened as well. He looked at Tai Tai he instantly, gauging his reaction to Duan Lingtan's request. "If the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom is a high-rank celestial kingdom, I won't be able to guarantee I'll be able to do it. However, since it's only an intermediate-rank celestial kingdom, I think the Taiyi Celestial Sect will be able to negotiate with the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect and offer them 2 intermediate-rank celestial kingdoms." Tai Tai he said in an unconcerned manner, "When the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom becomes ours, we can, naturally, control the kingdom. At that time, not only will we be able to promote King Qin of King Qin's mansion, but we can make you friend the new emperor with just a few words. As soon as Qin heard Tai Tai's words, he felt his heart skip a beat. He, the emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, Qin. Duan Lingtan turned to Qin. You've heard Guardian Tai's words. Although I requested Guardian Tai to let you join the Tai Celestial Sect earlier, if you want to be the emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, Guardian Tai and I will support your decision as well. After considering it for a moment, Qin said decisively, Duan Lingtan, I think I'd like to stay in the Tai Celestial Sect. As for the position of the emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, just give it to my uncle. Are you sure? If you become the Emperor of Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, you can do anything you want within the kingdom. Being above many people is an irresistible pull. Duan Lingtan looked at Qin meaningfully. Duan Lingtan, please don't make fun of me. Qin smiled bitterly. As you have said, I can do as I please only within the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. Moreover, if I become the Emperor, my future will be limited. Although it'd be difficult for me to catch up to you in this lifetime, I don't want to be left too far behind. That's why I want to join the Tai Celestial Sect and diligently cultivate. I don't expect to catch up to you, but I still want to be able to see your back. Okay, I'll respect your decision. Duan Lingtan nodded. At the same time, his impression of Qin rose. If he were Qin, he would make the same decision as well. On the other hand, Tai was surprised by Qin's decision. He said, many people prefer to be the head instead of the tail. Qin, it's surprising that you'd make such a decision. For this reason, I'll try my best to look after you in the Tai Celestial Sect. This is my promise to you, it has nothing to do with Celestial Alchemist Duan. He had made such a promise because he truly admired Qin's resolve. After all, not many people would give up the chance to become an emperor, regardless if it was a high, intermediate, or low-rank celestial kingdom. Thank you, Guardian Tai. Qin thanked Tai excitedly. He knew with Tai's promise, his time in the Tai Celestial Sect would be much smoother. After all, Tai was the left guardian of the Tai Celestial Sect. Moreover, Tai was also a 7-star Celestial Duke, similar to the sect leader of Tai Celestial Sect. Duan Lingtan was also slightly taken aback by Tai's promise to Qin. However, he could tell that Tai had made such a promise because he could see Qin was a good person. Tai did not make the promise because of Duan Lingtan. Soon after, Tai led Duan Lingtan, Qin, and Huan to one of the primitive celestial islands. This primitive celestial island was where new people registered as disciples of the Tai Celestial Sect. Chapter 2784, Beiping, the sect leader of the Tai Celestial Sect. Tai, the left guardian of Tai Celestial Sect, was now the most popular figure in Tai Celestial Sect because he had just broken through and became the third 7-star Celestial Duke in Tai Celestial Sect. Moreover, rumors were flying in the sect that the sect leader of the Tai Celestial Sect was preparing to grant the title of the second Supreme Elder of the sect. Under Tai's instructions, an elder of the Tai Celestial Sect guided Qin through the process of becoming a disciple of the also Tai Celestial Sect. Due to Tai's personal recommendation, the elder was polite to Qin from the very beginning. After seeing this, Duan Lingtan felt more at ease. Therefore, he and Huan left with Tai to meet the sect leader of Tai Celestial Sect with peace of mind. After Tai left with Duan Lingtan and Huan, the elder of the Tai Celestial Sect, an old man with grey hair but a youthful complexion, was very nice to Qin as he guided him through the process of joining the sect. Out of curiosity, he asked, young man, do you mind me asking what's your relationship with Guardian Tai? Elder Lin. Qin smiled bitterly. If I said that it was my first time meeting Guardian Tai today, would you believe it? The first time meeting Guardian Tai? The Elder Lin, was stunned upon hearing Qin's answer. Then, he shook his head and said, How's that possible? Earlier, Guardian Tai was very serious when he asked to take care of you. I'm sure you have a much deeper relationship. Naturally, if you're unwilling to disclose the reason to me, I won't force you. Elder Lin had an understanding expression on his face. Elder Lin, I'm telling the truth. Kinya sighed before he recounted everything that happened today. In the end, he said, it won't take long before today's incident spread through Taiyi City and the Taiyi Celestial Sect. At that time, Elder Lin, you'll know if I'm telling the truth or not. Then, that purple-clad young man earlier. He's a prominent celestial alchemist. Elder Lin was shocked and in disbelief when he heard Kinyu's words. Guardian Tai publicly promised that as long as the purple-clad young man is willing to join our Taiyi Celestial Sect, he will be given the title of Chief Celestial Alchemist in the sect. Elder Lin was just an ordinary elder in Taiyi Celestial Sect, and he was just an overarching Heaven Supreme Celestial. However, he had been in the Taiyi Celestial Sect for a long time. For this reason, he knew Tai Tai's character rather well. He knew Tai Tai was not someone who would speak without thinking. It was not impossible for him to lie about something like that just to get the purple-clad young man to join the Taiyi Celestial Sect. The title of Chief Celestial Alchemist represented high honors in the Taiyi Celestial Sect and among the Celestial Alchemists in the sect. Only the most skilled Celestial Alchemist would be given that title. Doesn't this mean the purple-clad young man is more skilled than all the prominent Celestial Alchemists in the Taiyi Celestial Sect? Otherwise, I'm sure Guardian Tai wouldn't recklessly make such a promise. Elder Lin was thoroughly shocked. It took him a long time to regain his senses. When he looked at Kinya again, his eyes were brimming with envy. Young man, you have made a great friend. Elder Lin sighed. Yes, having a friend like him is the greatest blessing in my life. Kinyu nodded. A hint of gratitude flashed in his eyes. Indeed, he felt incredibly grateful toward Duan Lingtan. If it were not for Duan Lingtan, he would not have been given a chance to join the Taiyi Celestial Sect, one of the three major celestial sects of the wasteland. Meanwhile, Tai Tai continued leading Duan Lingtan and Huana up, passing the 90 mediocre celestial islands, and the 900 primitive celestial island. It did not take long before they arrived where the 9 prominent celestial islands were located. The entire place was misty again, and multiple formations could be seen in the air. This place was hidden behind the clouds and mist, and multiple formations were arranged in the air. If it were not for Tai Tai, the Taiyi Celestial Sect's left guardian, leading the way, Duan Lingtan would not be able to find his way here. Even with Huana, who had a profound cultivation base, it still would have been impossible for them to find their way. After all, as strong as she was just an Earth-rank overarching Heavenly Supreme Celestial. On the other hand, the high-ranking officials of the Taiyi Celestial Sect who cultivated on the 9 prominent celestial islands were all first-class celestial dukes. Even the weakest among them was a one basic celestial duke who was much stronger than a peak overarching Heavenly Supreme Celestial. The 9 prominent celestial islands were hidden behind the sea of clouds like neatly arranged fortresses. One of the prominent celestial islands was in the center, surrounded by the other 8 prominent celestial islands, just like how the stars surrounded the moon. Among the 8 prominent celestial islands, 3 were in the formation circle while the other 5 were outside the formation. After Tai Tai, he took Duan Lingtan and Huana to a vast house on the center prominent celestial island. He greeted the person inside respectfully. Sect leader, Master Duan is here. During their journey here, Tai Tai had already sent a communication celestial talisman to the sect leader of the Taiyi Celestial Sect and informed him that Duan Lingtan would be joining the Taiyi Celestial Sect. Therefore, there was no longer any need for him to explain the reason he had brought Duan Lingtan here. Therefore, he did not have to further explain why he had brought Duan Lingtan here. I'm Bai Ping, the sect leader of the Taiyi Celestial Sect. Master Duan, welcome to our sect. As soon as Bai Ping spoke, Duan Lingtan could sense Bai Ping's powerful aura from inside the vast house. Soon after, a tall figure dressed in white robes emerged from the house. The figure belonged to a middle-aged man. He had sword-like eyebrows and strong features. He had a majestic air about him even though his smile was as refreshing as a spring breeze. It was obvious this person was Bai Ping, the sect leader of the Taiyi Celestial Sect. Sect leader. Duan Lingtan nodded and greeted Bai Ping. Bai Ping smiled slightly at Duan Lingtan. The moment his eyes fell on Huana, he averted his eyes immediately. Even then, a hint of amazement could be seen in his eyes. After all, this was his first time seeing such a flawless beauty. However, there was still an awestruck look in his eyes. Although he had lived for a long time, and his heart had long become like a still lake, he still felt a slight ripple in his heart. However, his reaction was just the natural instinct of man. There were no nefarious or lecherous thoughts behind it. Moreover, Tai he had also told him through a communication celestial talisman that he had killed Huang Zhao for lusting over this woman. Regarding this matter, he agreed with Tai He's actions. Naturally, he also learned about Tai He killing the Celestial Dukes from the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect and the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect, but he was not bothered. After all, Tai He had a valid reason for his actions. Master Duan, Bai Ping looked at Duan Lingtan and bluntly said, "The promise made to you by Guardian Tai is supported by the Taiyi Celestial Sect to you. I trust his judgment. Since he said you're skilled enough to become our Taiyi Celestial Sect's chief celestial alchemist, then, you'll be our Taiyi Celestial Sect's chief celestial alchemist from now on." In fact, he trusted Duan Lingtan because Tai he had told him that Duan Lingtan could refine the prominent celestial pill, the overarching heaven pill. The other prominent celestial alchemists in the Taiyi Celestial Sect were not capable of such a feat. However, something seemed to flash in Bai Ping's mind. He looked at Duan Lingtan and said, "However, Master Duan, before announcing your position as the chief celestial alchemist of our sect, I want you to meet and have a discussion with the 3 other prominent celestial alchemists of our sect. What do you think about that?" Duan Lingtan glanced at Bai Ping knowingly as though he could read Bai Ping's mind and said, "Sect leader Bai Ping, you want me to have a discussion with those 3 prominent celestial alchemists so I can show them that I'm worthy of being the chief celestial alchemist of the Taiyi Celestial Sect, right? Master Duan, there's no need for you to do much. All you have to do is refine an overarching heaven pill in front of them. After witnessing it, they will, naturally, have no objection and will be convinced of your skills." Bai Ping replied, "What if I don't want to refine the overarching heaven pill in front of them or have a discussion with them?" Duan Lingtan asked, "If that's the case, sect leader Bai Ping, are you still going to make me the chief celestial alchemist of the Taiyi Celestial Sect? If you're unwilling, I can leave now." Duan Lingtan glanced at Bai Ping after speaking. Bai Ping was rendered speechless by Duan Lingtan's words. He did not expect Duan Lingtan to say this. If Duan Lingtan did not prove his ability in front of the 3 prominent celestial alchemists of their Taiyi Celestial Sect, and he rashly made Duan Lingtan the chief celestial alchemist of the sect, the other 3 prominent celestial alchemists would definitely be dissatisfied and might even leave the sect in a fit of anger. Although the 3 prominent celestial alchemists of Taiyi Celestial Sect were all revered elders in the sect, their attachment to the sect was not very strong, so they could leave the sect without much thought. Master Duan. Tai's expression changed slightly when he heard Duan Lingtan's words. However, Bai Ping interjected before he could finish speaking. He said solemnly, "Master Duan, if you're against it, then, we'll do as you wish. I'll announce that you're the chief celestial alchemist of our Taiyi Celestial Sect even if you don't wish to speak to the other prominent celestial alchemists." Sect leader. Tai's expression changed drastically. Although he knew Duan Lingtan was highly skilled compared to the 3 prominent celestial alchemists of the Taiyi Celestial Sect, he did not think it was worth it to lose 3 prominent celestial alchemists over Duan Lingtan alone. Huh? Duan Lingtan was a little surprised when he heard Bai Ping's words. After looking at the anxious Tai he looked at Bai Ping again and said with a faint smile, Sect leader Bai Ping, I was just joking. Please arrange for me to meet the 3 celestial alchemists. Chapter 2785, The Main Prominent Celestial Island. Duan Lingtan had only said those words to test Bai Ping, the sect leader of the Taiyi Celestial Sect. It was his first time meeting Bai Ping, and he was curious what choice Bai Ping would make when faced with such a difficult request. To his surprise, he discovered that not only was Bai Ping decisive, but he was also brave enough to take the risk. In order to keep him in the sect, Bai Ping was even willing to risk losing the 3 existing prominent celestial alchemists in the Taiyi Celestial Sect. Although he knew Bai Ping only made such a choice because of his ability to refine the overarching heaven pill, he was still impressed by Bai Ping. After all, most people would not risk losing 3 prominent celestial alchemists, rare as they were in the wasteland, for one prominent celestial alchemist, regardless if he knew how to refine the overarching heaven pill. Moreover, those 3 prominent celestial alchemists had been in the Taiyi Celestial Sect for a long time, whereas he had just arrived in the Taiyi Celestial Sect. If he were in Bai Ping's shoes, he might not be as decisive and as brave as Bai Ping in making a choice. Sect leader Bai Ping, I was joking earlier. Please arrange for me to meet the 3 celestial alchemists. Upon hearing Duan Lingtan's words, the expression on Tai Tai He, the left guardian of the Taiyi Celestial, turned for the better. He looked at Duan Lingtan with gratitude. Similarly, when Bai Ping, the sect leader of the Taiyi Celestial Sect, heard Duan Lingtan's words, he felt relieved after he recovered from his shock. After all, although he had decided earlier that he would take the risk of losing the 3 prominent celestial alchemists who had been in Taiyi Celestial Sect for a long time in exchange for Duan Lingtan who knew how to refine the overarching heaven pill, it was still a tough decision to make. Moreover, he did not know Duan Lingtan well, nor did he know if Duan Lingtan would even stay in the sect for a long time. He would not regret his decision if Duan Lingtan ended remaining in the sect for a long time, even if the 3 prominent celestial alchemists left. After all, the pros outweighed the cons. However, what if Duan Lingtan decided to leave after a short while? He would have suffered a great loss. At that time, there would be no prominent celestial alchemists in the sect. The benefits brought by Duan Lingtan for Taiyi Celestial Sect would definitely not be less than the 3 prominent celestial alchemists. All right, I'll make the arrangements. Bai Ping replied anxiously. With his current nervous manner, it was difficult to believe he was a powerful 7-star celestial duke. Then, he looked at Tai Tai He and said, Guardian Tai, I'll look for the 3 revered elders and invite them for a discussion with Master Duan. Please arrange a place for Master Duan and Huana to stay. Bai Ping looked at the main island where his residence was located and added, you can arrange for them to stay on the main island. Then, he turned to Duan Lingtan and said, Master Duan, Miss Huana, I'll be taking my leave now. I'll meet both of you later. After he finished speaking, it seemed as though he disappeared into thin air in just a blink of an eye. Among those present on the scene, only Tai Tai He could see Bai Ping's movement. He saw Bai Ping making his way to another prominent celestial island. After Bai Ping left, Tai Tai He said, Master Duan, sect leader values you very much. The main island is special. Although the cultivation environment is not much different from the other 8 prominent celestial islands, their statuses can't compare to the main prominent celestial island where you'll be staying. After a brief pause, he continued to add, the main prominent celestial island is where the sect leader and the supreme elders of the Taiyi Celestial cultivate. Apart from then, only the most honored guests from supreme celestial sects are allowed to stay here. Even when the 3 prominent celestial alchemists joined our sect, the sect leader didn't arrange for them to stay on the main island. I'm flattered. Duan Lingtan said lightly with a faint smile on his face. Master Duan, you're joking. With your abilities, it's only natural that you're considered as an extremely honored guest of our Taiyi Celestial Sect before officially joining us. It's only right for us to arrange for you to stay on the main island, Tai, he said with a smile. When they arrived on the main prominent celestial island, they could clearly feel the rich heaven and earth spirit energy. As expected of the sect that owns primitive celestial crystal or veins. The other places in the wasteland can't compare to the cultivation environment on the prominent celestial islands of the Tai celestial sect. Duan Lingtan sighed inwardly after he sensed the heaven and earth spirit energy in the air. Moreover, the cultivation environment is even an overkill for me. In other words, it's no different from cultivating in the cultivation environment provided by Huana Divine Crystal. Previously, when Duan Lingtan was cultivating, after he became a great overarching golden celestial, he discovered regardless of how superior the cultivation environment was, since there was a limit to the heaven and earth spirit energy he could absorb. It seems like there's no need for me to rely on Huana's divine crystal to cultivate here. I'll probably need the help of her divine crystal only after my cultivation base has improved and I have gotten stronger. Duan Lingtan was well aware of this. On the other hand, for Huana, who was an overarching heavenly supreme celestial, the cultivation environment of the main prominent celestial island was not enough to help her with her cultivation regardless of how good it was. She still needed to rely on her divine crystal to cultivate here. All of a sudden, Huana looked at Duan Lingtan with her limpid eyes and asked after Tai he had left, "Brother Lingtan, does this mean I no longer have to wear a hat and a veil?" "I'm not sure," Duan Lingtan said. Her face fell when she heard Duan Lingtan's words. However, a brilliant smile appeared on her face when she heard his next words. "In any case, there's no need for you to wear a veil and a hat in the wasteland." Huana was overjoyed. When they left the wasteland, she still had to wear a hat and veil. However, she was content that for now, she did not have to wear a hat and a veil in the wasteland. She was an easy person to satisfy after all. Meanwhile, a huge commotion had broken out in Tai City. People were gossiping among themselves in a bustling restaurant. Huang Zhao, an elder of the Tai celestial sect, Xlang, a guardian of the Thousand Spiders celestial sect, and Teng Qing, an elder of the Martial Dragon celestial sect, went to the Soaring Dragon celestial kingdom's residence that was arranged by the Tai celestial sect. Someone clicked their tongue. They only went there because of the woman in the portraits that have been circulating in the city. Well, I'm not surprised. Those three men are known for being lecherous. That beauty will definitely suffer in their hands. I pity that beautiful woman. When the people of Tai City learned that 3 celestial dukes from the 3 major celestial sects of the wasteland had gone to the Soaring Dragon celestial kingdom's residence in Tai City, all of them assumed the beautiful woman in the portraits was going to suffer a tragic end. Huang Zhao, Xlang, and Teng Qing are all powerful celestial dukes. They're not even one basic celestial dukes, they're 2 forms celestial dukes. 3 of them are evenly matched in terms of strength. I'm afraid the beauty would be shared by them. Share a woman? Well, they'll probably come to an agreement and take turns to have sex with her. Someone sighed. It's such a pity that the beauty would fall in those 3's hands. Based on their conversation, it seemed like many people in Tai City were not privy to the latest development. They all pitied the beauty in the portraits. At this moment, someone scoffed. "All of you are so out of the loop. I bet none of you know that everything turned out fine for the beauty in the end. Most importantly, Huang Zhao, Xlang, and Teng Qing have died." As soon as the words were spoken, the main hall of the restaurant that was still lively a while ago fell silent immediately. It was so quiet that one could hear a pin drop. Everyone's attention was focused on the person who had spoken. The person was a middle-aged man who was dressed in fine robes with an extraordinary temperament. Finally, an old man broke the silence and asked, "Sir, is what you said true? I'm one of the princes of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Is there a need for me to lie? I personally witnessed Huang Zhao, Xlang, and Teng Qing's deaths," the middle-aged man proudly said. The middle-aged man sat alone at a table. 2 old men stood behind him. They seemed to be his personal guards. Based on this and his extraordinary temperament, few people doubted his words. "Prince, why don't you tell us about what happened today?" a young man asked curiously as he looked at the middle-aged man in fine robes who claimed to be a prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Upon hearing this, the eyes of almost everyone in the restaurant shone with curiosity. All of them wanted to know how the three powerful celestial dukes died. Or how the three powerful celestial dukes. Chapter 2786, Ins and Outs. Out of the many patrons in the restaurants, very few people suspected the middle-aged man was lying. After all, who would dare to spread false rumors about the three strong celestial dukes from the three major celestial sects of the wasteland? If the middle-aged man's words were not true, once the three celestial dukes heard about it, the middle-aged man would definitely die. The middle-aged man did not seem to be lying, and his words were convincing. Moreover, he had an extraordinary temperament. In the patron's opinion, there was no reason to doubt the middle-aged man. The three celestial dukes from the three major celestial sects of the wasteland were killed in front of the people of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. It's really too unbelievable. However, since this person dares to say such a thing, it's likely to be true. I wonder who killed the celestial dukes from the three major celestial sects of the wasteland. Those three were two forms celestial dukes. It's impossible for the average person to kill them. Although the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom is a high-rank celestial kingdom, as far as I know, the strongest person in their kingdom is only a peak overarching heavenly supreme celestial. Therefore, the culprit can't be from the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Although everyone in the restaurant was gossiping, they did not dare to speak loudly. Instead, they whispered furtively among themselves. Three two-forms celestial dukes. The middle-aged man in fine clothes scoffed. He was about to respond to the young man who had spoken earlier but sneered when he heard the muted discussions in the surroundings. He said, "You are wrong." Indeed, Huang Zhao and Xlang were two forms celestial duke. However, Teng King had already become a three-talent celestial duke. A hint of fear could be seen in the eyes of the man who claimed to be a prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom as he continued to say. At that time, Huang Zhao and Xlang joined forces to fight Teng King. With just one move, Teng King easily suppressed those two. He destroyed the front yard of the residence that the Taiyi Celestial Sect had arranged for us to stay in. The two old men standing behind the middle-aged man had a frightened expression on their faces as well. After all, they had also witnessed the fight between the Celestial Dukes earlier. If those three did not deliberately control their energies to avoid the backlash from affecting the people present, they would have been severely injured even if they did not die. Three talents celestial duke. Elder Teng King of the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect had a breakthrough and became a three talents celestial duke. I have long heard that Elder Teng King of the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect is only one step away from becoming three talents celestial duke. I didn't know he had successfully broken through. Many people broke out in a commotion again when they learned that Teng King, an elder of the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect, had become a three talents celestial duke. Alas, although Elder Teng King had become a three talents celestial duke, he still died along with Elder Huang Zhao and Guardian Xlang. Someone exclaimed. As soon as the person finished speaking, the entire fell silent again. That was right. One three talents celestial duke and two two-forms celestial dukes were killed. How powerful was the culprit? The culprit had to be a four phenomena celestial duke at least, right? Prince, don't keep us guessing. Tell us who killed Elder Teng King, Elder Huang Zhao, and Guardian Xlang. Yes, Prince, just tell us. Prince. Many people looked eager as they stared at the middle-aged man who claimed to be a prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Under everyone's burning gaze, the finely dressed middle-aged man who claimed to be a prince said without beating around the bush, "The one who killed the three celestial dukes is Tai Tai He, the left guardian of the Taiyi Celestial Sect." The middle-aged man's words caused another uproar in the restaurant. The patrons of the restaurant looked at each other and saw the shock and disbelief in each other's eyes. How's that possible? There's a rumor going around the left guardian of the Taiyi Celestial Sect has recently become a 7-star Celestial Duke. Why did he kill Huang Zhao, Xlang, and Teng King? Did he also fall in love with that beauty? Maybe the three wanted to snatch the beauty away from him so he killed them. Impossible. I've heard that the left guardian has no interest in women. Moreover, if he truly wanted to claim the beauty, the 3 celestial dukes would have definitely conceded to him. You're right. Although those 3 were high-ranking officials in the 3 major celestial sects of the Wasteland, they're incomparable to Guardian Tai of the Tai celestial sect. Not to mention only one of them was a 3 talents celestial duke. Even if all 3 were 3 talents celestial dukes, they still would not dare to offend Guardian Tai. I agree. The patrons turned to look at the finely dressed middle-aged man again, waiting for him to satiate their curiosities. The middle-aged did not hold back and began to recount the ins and outs of the incident. After listening to the entire story, the patrons had a vague understanding of what had happened. As it turns out, the beauty has a good relationship with a prominent celestial alchemist. Most importantly, the prominent celestial alchemist has a good relationship with Tai Tai, the left guardian of the Tai celestial sect. Otherwise, Guardian Tai wouldn't simply kill a celestial duke from his own sect and 2 celestial dukes from the other 2 major celestial sects of the Wasteland. I am afraid the 3 didn't expect the would be killed by Guardian Tai because of a woman. The name of the prominent celestial alchemist by the beauty's side is Duan Ling Tan, right? I've never heard of someone like that in the Wasteland. Me too. That's right. The finely dressed middle-aged man also told the patrons in the restaurant that the prominent celestial alchemist by the beauty's side was going to be given the title of Chief Celestial Alchemist after joining the Tai celestial sect. In no time at all, the words in the restaurant soon spread like a wildfire through Tai City, causing an uproar. Everyone knew that Tai Tai, the left guardian of the Tai celestial sect, had killed Huang Zhao, an elder of the Tai celestial sect, Xlang, a guardian of the Thousand Spiders celestial sect, and Teng King, and elder of the Martial Dragon celestial sect. They also learned there was an addition of a prominent celestial alchemist in the Wasteland. It seemed like the new prominent celestial alchemist was so skilled that even Tai Tai, who was a 7-star celestial duke, was eager for the new prominent celestial alchemist to join the Tai celestial sect and promised him the title of Chief Celestial Alchemist. Chief Celestial Alchemist? Doesn't he have to ask for the opinions of the 3 existing prominent celestial alchemists Tai celestial sect first? Yes. If that prominent celestial alchemist, Duan Ling Tan, isn't skilled, the 3 prominent celestial alchemists definitely won't acknowledge him. Exactly. If the Tai celestial sect still insists on making Duan Ling Tan the Chief Celestial Alchemist without the approval of the 3 prominent celestial alchemists, the prominent celestial alchemists will most probably leave the Tai celestial sect. It feels like there's going to an interesting show to watch. It's a pity we're not members of the Tai celestial sect. There's no way for us to personally watch the show. Most people in Tai City were not optimistic about Duan Ling Tan's chances of becoming the Tai celestial sect's chief celestial alchemist. While all kinds of rumors flew around in Tai City, a storm was brewing in the residents of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, an intermediate-rank Celestial Kingdom. Huang Zhao, Xlang, and Teng King have died? How's that possible? Is the purple-clad young man next to Beauty really a prominent Celestial Alchemist? Is it true he's also well acquainted with Tai Tai, the left guardian of the Tai celestial sect? When the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom heard the rumors, the expressions of Yan Ling, the Emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, was filled with unwillingness. Your Majesty, there's nothing we can do to that Beauty and her companion. We're not able to retaliate against the woman and the man next to her. Moreover, we have to find a way to solve the hidden dangers of this matter. After all, they can easily find out that we were the ones who distributed the portraits throughout Tai City, an old man said to Yan Ling with a fearful expression. There were a few others standing next to the old man who were also looking anxious and worried. However, Yan Ling rose to his feet, in a daze. He murmured to himself in despair as though he did not hear the old man's words, Rua, I'm so useless. Liu was killed, and yet, I can't avenge him. Among Yan Ling's sons, only the 6th prince, Shiel, did not bear his last name. Instead, Shiel bore his mother's last name. Based on this, one could see how much Yan Qiling had loved Shil's mother. Otherwise, how could a dignified and prideful emperor of a celestial kingdom let his son bear his mother's surname? Your Majesty, Your Majesty. Seeing Yan Qiling in a daze during such a critical moment, the subordinates cried out in unison, becoming even more anxious. Yan Qiling regained his senses. He glared at his subordinates and said in an annoyed tone, "Why are all of you so anxious? Is there any use in being anxious?" Chapter 2787, Joining a New Sect. When Yan Qiling found out the woman who killed his sixth son was still alive and the man next to her was a prominent celestial alchemist who clearly had a good relationship with Tai Tai He, the left guardian of the Tai Yi celestial sect, he knew it was over. Not to mention Tai Tai He was the left guardian of the Tai Yi celestial sect, but Tai Tai He was also a 7-star celestial duke, a first-class powerhouse in the wasteland. Even when Tai Tai He had not broken through, just as the left guardian, it was easy enough for Tai Tai He to deal with the entire Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom's imperial family. In the end, Yan Qiling said as he looked at his subordinates, "I'll try my best to resolve this matter on my own. I won't implicate the rest of the imperial family or you." He had fallen into a haze of despair earlier because he could not avenge his sixth son. He had temporarily tried to escape from the reality of the impending disaster. However, he regained his senses when he saw how anxious his subordinates were. "Your Majesty." Upon hearing Yan Qiling's words, the expressions of Yan Qiling's subordinates changed. "Your Majesty, is there nothing we can do to right the situation? Maybe we can apologize to the woman and the prominent celestial alchemist next to her." "Yes, Your Majesty." As the saying goes, where there's life, there's hope. If we plead with them, we might be able to escape this disaster. "Your Majesty, we can't do without you in the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom." Yan Qiling's subordinates were of the opinion that they should apologize and ask for forgiveness from the woman and the prominent celestial alchemist next to her. However, Yan Qiling shook his head when he heard his subordinates' words. He felt they should put themselves in the woman and the prominent celestial alchemist's shoes for a moment. No matter how kind they were, they would not give in under such circumstances. After all, they had circulated the woman's portraits in Tai Yi City. Yan Qiling felt resentment and unwillingness rose in his heart. If it were not for the prominent celestial alchemist, the woman would have already died. He shook his head. He knew it was over for him. A sense of helplessness welled up in his heart. The only thing he wanted now was to try to keep the rest of the members of the imperial family and his subordinates safe. At this moment, a loud and energetic voice entered the hall, echoing in every corner. "You're the Emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, Yan Qiling?" The expressions of Yan Qiling and his subordinates changed drastically. Whoosh, whoosh. 2 gusts of wind blew into the hall as 2 figures suddenly appeared. One of them was a tall and burly middle-aged man while the other was an old man with medium stature. The tall and burly middle-aged man had a particularly conspicuous cinnabar mole in between his eyebrows. On the other hand, the old man with medium stature looked rather ordinary. He would not have stood out in a sea of people. Upon seeing the 2 newcomers, Yan Qiling and the others hastily bowed in fear. Yan Qiling then asked in a small voice, "Who are you?" The old man with a medium build replied in a hoarse voice, "I'm a guardian elder of the Martial Dragon Celestial Kingdom, Liu Qizong." Then, he raised one of his hands, revealing a token that was unique to guardian elders from the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. As the Emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, which belonged to the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect, Yan Qiling recognized the token in the old man's hand at a glance. There was no doubt the old man was an elder from the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect even though it was his first time seeing the token in person. He had seen it before in a memory celestial talisman issued by Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. In the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect, only a 3-talent celestial duke or above were qualified to become a guardian elder. Guardian elders had the highest statuses among other elders in the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. For example, Teng King, who was killed by Tai Tai, he was just an inner elder of the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. His rank was lower than a guardian elder. Although Teng King had broken through and became a 3-talent celestial duke, He was not strong enough compared to the other 3 talent celestial dukes to become a guardian elder. After all, he had just very recently become a 3 talent celestial duke. Naturally, for people of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, they still did not dare to be disrespectful toward someone like Tenking, let alone a guardian elder from the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect who had a higher status. I'm the Emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, Yan Qiling. Greetings, Elder Liu. After Yan Qiling greeted the old man, his subordinates followed suit, respectfully greeting the old man. I came today to announce that from henceforth, the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom no longer belongs to our Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. The Taiyi Celestial Sect has given us the 2 intermediate rank Celestial Kingdom in exchange for the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. The old man said solemnly as he looked at Yan Qiling. There was no inflection in his voice at all as he continued to say, from now on, the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom will belong to the Taiyi Celestial Sect. Halfway through listening to the old man's words, Yan Qiling and his subordinates were thoroughly stunned. However, when they finished listening to the old man's words, their expressions changed drastically. Although all of them had expected some form of punishment from the Taiyi Celestial Sect, they did not expect the revenge to come so swiftly and mercilessly. It was a truly domineering move. For revenge, the Taiyi Celestial Sect had exchanged 2 intermediate rank Celestial Kingdoms for the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect's Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. Once the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom belonged to the Taiyi Celestial Sect, the sect would be able to do as they pleased to their kingdom, would not be able to have their way with them. Yan Qiling looked at the old man anxiously and implored, Elder Liu, the celestial stone we sent as tributes to the sect every year is more than that of other intermediate rank celestial kingdoms. The sect can't abandon us. Elder Liu, as long as you don't hand our kingdom over to the Taiyi Celestial Sect, from now on, our Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom is willing to double the celestial stones we usually give. Yan Qiling knew very well that if the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom remained under the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect, even if the left guardian of the Taiyi Celestial Sect or the Taiyi Celestial Sect wanted to retaliate, they would only be able to deal with him alone. The Taiyi Celestial Sect would not be able to touch the entire Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. If the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom were given to the Taiyi Celestial Sect, the imperial family was bound to be overthrown. The sect leader has already agreed to this matter. Everything has already been decided, the old man said tonelessly as he looked at Yan Qiling, whose face had turned pale. After that, the old man no longer deigned to look at Yan Qiling. Instead, he turned to look at the tall and burly man who had come with him. His indifferent expression, when faced with Yan Qiling, had vanished without a trace once he looked at the tall and burly man. Instead, a respectful expression appeared on his face as he said, Guardian Tai, from now on, the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom belongs to your Taiyi Celestial Sect. He added, in fact, this is just a trivial matter. There's no need to trouble yourself to personally come over. You can just send an elder of your sect to accompany me. The old man was extremely reverent and did not dare to be rude at all when faced with the tall and burly middle-aged man. Guardian Tai? Upon hearing the way the old man addressed the tall and burly middle-aged man, it was naturally not difficult for Yan Qiling and his men to figure out the tall and burly middle-aged man's identity. Thud. After realizing the identity of the middle-aged man, Yan Qiling was the first to fall to his knees. He implored, Guardian Tai, I was the one who asked my subordinates to distribute the portraits of that young lady. This matter has nothing to do with the others. I hope Guardian Tai will investigate this matter thoroughly. I, the Emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, Yan Qiling, am willing to bear the full responsibility for this. The only thing he desperately wanted now was to protect the remaining imperial family. Thud, thud, thud. Yan Qiling's men followed suit. Their bodies trembled as they fell to their knees as well. It was clear to them now that the tall and burly middle-aged man was Tai He, the left guardian of the Taiyi Celestial Sect and a 7-star Celestial Duke. Tai He glanced at Yan Qiling, who was kneeling on the ground, and scoffed before he said, It's not up to you to decide if you alone will suffer the consequences for this matter. From today onward, There will be a new imperial family of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. The current imperial family will all be exterminated. His voice was cold and intimidating. As soon as Tai finished speaking, he used a communication celestial talisman to order an elder from the Tai Celestial Sect who had accompanied him here to destroy the current imperial family of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. No! Yan Qiling cried out in despair. He, naturally, understood Tai's intention. His eyes were brimming with regret and despair at this moment. He truly regretted his actions. He regretted provoking the woman in the portraits. Faced with impending death, Yan Qiling's feelings changed abruptly. Sixth son. You really dragged the entire family with you. He seemed to resent Shil now. He only scoffed before he raised a hand and took Yan Qiling's life. Upon seeing this, Yan Qiling's men trembled even more violently. They knew that the current imperial family of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom was soon to be no more. As for their survival, it all depended on the person in front of them. I'll give you a chance to survive. Assist the new imperial family of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom well. If you have other intentions, I'll send you straight to hell. He calmly said as he glanced at the people kneeling on the ground and said calmly, Thank you. Guardian Tai, we will never betray the new imperial family. Upon discovering they were allowed to live, they were filled with joy. They were allowed to live, they were filled with joy. Chapter 2788, Self-Awareness. After Tai, the left guardian of the Tai Celestial Sect, led the guardian elder of the martial dragon celestial sect to the residence arranged by Tai Celestial Sect for the people of Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom to deal with the matter. The incident had also come to an end. Before leaving, Tai asked the people under Yan Qiling, the former emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, to summon King Qin from the King Qin's mansion. Then, in front of everyone, he publicly instated King Qin and his descendants as the new imperial family of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. Currently, King Qin was the new emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. He also made the people in the hall kneel before the new emperor. After Tai left, after making the shocking announcement, the people in the huge hall who had narrowly escaped death looked at King Qin in shock and disbelief as they discussed among themselves. Why him? Why is it him? He has never been outstanding nor tried to stand out. How did he rise suddenly and become the emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom? Even his family and descendants have become members of the imperial family. What is going on? Didn't you see Guardian Tai from the Tai Celestial Sect was so respectful to King Qin? It's obvious he knew King Qin. It was like a bolt of lightning on a sunny day. These people truly did not expect even in their wildest dreams that he would instate King Qin and his family as the new imperial family of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. After all, there were many rulers of mansions in the Cloudy Rock Kingdom who were more capable than King Qin of King Qin's mansion. Once I leave, I'll send 2 of our elders who will peak overarching Heavenly Supreme Celestial from the Tai Celestial Sect to assist King Qin, your new emperor. If any of you dare to scheme against the new emperor, not only will I kill you, but I'll also exterminate your families. He had left them with these words before he left. Upon recalling Tai's words, the people in the Great Hall did not dare to feel resentful or dissatisfied and kneeled to King Qin, the new emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. Your Majesty, I will help you with everything I have and not let Guardian Tai down. Long live Your Majesty. All of them humbly and reverently kowtowed at King Qin. Meanwhile, King Qin stood frozen, dumbfounded. He was already in shock when he was brought in front of these people. Moreover, the person who had brought him over had always treated him arrogantly and looked down on him. However, today, that said person was extremely respectful. After arriving at the hall, the high-ranking officials who usually had their noses pointed to the skies were all reverent and respectful to him, shocking him even more. All of them lowered themselves and kowtowed to him. He was truly shocked. How could he not feel shocked? These people who were more powerful than him and confidants of the former emperor were prostrating themselves before him. I'm the new emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. Am I dreaming? It was only natural that King Qin had a hard time digesting this. He was suddenly made an emperor. He was just drinking tea in his courtyard when a revered elder from the imperial courts respectfully summoned him. When he arrived at the hall, he saw a tall and burly middle-aged man. He heard the revered elders referring to him as Guardian Tai. Then, he was informed that Guardian Tai was the left guardian of the Tai Celestial Sect. He, naturally, had heard about Tai, who became famous in Tai City recently due to him becoming a 7-star Celestial Duke, the third 7-star Celestial Dukes in the Tai Celestial Sect. King Qin did not think someone like him would have anything to do with such a great personage. Who knew that not only did he meet Tai today, but Tai had also officially instated him as the Emperor of Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. Not only that, but all his kins were now members of the imperial family of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. At that time, he had asked Tai tentatively, "Why me?" "You'll find out in time." Tai did not reveal to King Qin it was all due to his nephew, who was a friend of Juan Lingtan, the chief celestial alchemist of the Tai Celestial Sect. Thus, King Qin became the new Emperor of Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom in a flurry of confusion. Although he would not lie and say he was unhappy with this new lofty status, he felt a little helpless and nervous, afraid his blessing would come to an end soon. It was not until King Qin's nephew, Qin Yu, whom he had not seen in a while, returned a few days later that he calmed down after finding out the shocking reason for his blessing. He finally felt at ease becoming the Emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. How surprising. The young man back then has achieved such success now. Not only is he a prominent celestial alchemist, but he also has a good relationship with Guardian Tai of the Tai Celestial Sect. King Qin said with a sigh. He thought Juan Lingtan and Tai he had a close relationship due to Qin Yu's misunderstanding. Qin Yu was completely unaware that Tai he valued Juan Lingtan so much, not because of a good relationship. It was because Juan Lingtan was a skilled prominent celestial alchemist who could refine the overarching heaven pill. Meanwhile, Juan Lingtan and Huana were staying in a vast mansion on the main prominent celestial island in the Tai Celestial Sect. After Tai returned, he recounted what happened to Juan Lingtan before asking, "Master Juan, are you satisfied with how I dealt with Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom?" "Yes, thank you for your hard work, Guardian Tai." Juan Lingtan nodded. "You have handled this matter very well, Guardian Tai." Everything was done impeccably. Impeccable indeed. The former imperial family of Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom was exterminated. Tai he had exterminated all of them so there would be no trouble in the future. He felt slightly grateful to Tai although Tai he's method was rather vicious. In fact, he could not help but feel lucky that Tai he was not his enemy. Otherwise, Tai he would be a great threat to him before he grew stronger. It was even likely that he would die. However, although he did not fully agree with Tai he's approach, he could not say he completely disagreed either. After all, this was a dog-eat-dog world. If the root of the trouble was not destroyed, there would definitely be trouble in the future. Who knew? If he were in Tai he's shoes, he might have done the same things as well. Suddenly, Juan Lingtan recalled something. He looked at Tai curiously and asked, "Guardian Tai, you just killed an elder of the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect, Teng King. Why would the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect agree to your request? Why would they agree to exchange the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom for two of the Tai Celestial Sect's intermediate rank Celestial Kingdoms?" Tai he smiled faintly. "Master Juan, I had good reasons to kill Teng King that day. Therefore, the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect can only suck it up and accept it since you're our sect's chief celestial alchemist. If you're not, things would be difficult." Then, Tai he continued to say, "As for our Tai Celestial Sect's exchange of two intermediate rank Celestial Kingdoms for the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom of their Martial Dragon Celestial Sect was a whole other matter. This was a beneficial deal for the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect so they naturally wouldn't refuse." Realization suddenly Juan Lingtan who suddenly seemed dim-witted. "So, whether the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect pursues you for Teng King's death depends on whether I'm the chief celestial alchemist of the Tai Celestial Sect?" "Yes." He nodded. Interesting. Something flashed across Duan Lingtan's eyes as he smiled slightly. Master Duan. He seemed to remember something as well as he said, the sect leader has spoken to two of our prominent celestial alchemists. The other prominent celestial alchemist is practicing in seclusion and will only come out in 10 days. For this reason, the discussion will roughly take place in 10 days or so. At the latest, it'll happen in 2 weeks. Okay. Duan Lingtan nodded. As long as you refine the overarching heaven pill in front of them, they won't have any objections to you becoming the chief celestial alchemist of our Taiyi celestial sect. He was clearly very confident about Duan Lingtan's ability. Meanwhile, Duan Lingtan was also looking forward to meeting the 3 prominent celestial alchemists of Taiyi celestial sect. After all, it meant he could discuss alchemy and pill refining with them and exchange knowledge. Although he had obtained much knowledge about refining pills from the rebirth martial emperor when he was in the mundane realm, the refining pill methods in his memories only helped granted him a quicker understanding of refining pills in the Devata realms. If he wanted to progress a step further and refine supreme celestial pills, he needed more knowledge and to conduct many experiments. The memories of refining pills left by the rebirth martial emperor was not enough to help him achieve that. I can refine the prominent celestial pill, the overarching heaven pill, not because of my skills in alchemy. It's all thanks to my chaos divine flame that has entered the 3rd stage. Although it's only comparable to prominent celestial fires for now, it's still stronger than ordinary prominent celestial fires. If the 3rd form of the chaos divine flame were given to an ordinary prominent celestial alchemist, even that prominent celestial alchemist would be able to refine the overarching heaven pill with some hard work. Duan Lingtan was not deluded. He was well aware of his abilities. He still had much to learn about alchemy. In the past, he was given a shortcut in the form of the rebirth martial emperor's memories about refining pills from the mundane realm. However, things were different now, so he would have to rely on himself. Half a month passed in a blink of an eye. This day was the day that Bai Ping, the sect leader of the Taiyi celestial sect, had arranged for Duan Lingtan to meet the 3 prominent celestial alchemists in the Taiyi celestial sect. Therefore, Duan Lingtan went out early in the morning. Chapter 2789, The 3 Prominent Celestial Alchemists. Duan Lingtan had gone earlier to meet the 3 prominent celestial alchemists. He did want to keep them waiting. However, the 3 prominent celestial alchemists did not seem to take him seriously. He had arrived at the agreed destination, in the residence of the sect leader of the Taiyi celestial sect, but after half a day had gone by, neither hide nor hair of the 3 prominent celestial alchemists could be seen. Master Duan, they might have encountered something that's causing them delay. Bai Ping hastily came up with an excuse for the 3 prominent celestial alchemists, as though he was afraid that Duan Lingtan might storm out in a fit of anger. It might seem like he was defending the 3 prominent celestial alchemists. He was inwardly seething. It was evident that the 3 prominent celestial alchemists were making things difficult for Duan Lingtan. Most importantly, those 3 were putting him in a difficult position. It's all right. I'll just wait a little longer, Duan Lingtan replied and smiled lightly. While they were waiting, Duan Lingtan's mind began to wander. When he thought about the series of incidents that happened after he arrived in Taiyi City, he felt that he had been given a shortcut. Things had progressed in an unbelievably smooth manner. Initially, he had planned to follow the people of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom to participate in the Wasteland Grand Contest organized by the 3 major celestial sects of the Wasteland. He was going to take first place and reveal his identity as a prominent celestial alchemist to join the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. He would then use the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect as a platform to further improve his cultivation base before leaving the Wasteland. Naturally, before leaving, Duan Lingtan planned to keep his promise to Longfian, the 13th prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, to obtain the throne to the kingdom. He also planned to fulfill his promise to Brother Pei and enter the little world that was left by a celestial king to help Brother Pei retrieve a royal grade celestial weapon. According to Brother Pei, The real reason for the Wasteland Grand Contest was to recruit people to enter the little world. Since only powerhouses below the age of 100 could enter the little world, the three major celestial sects had organized the contest to search for young and strong powerhouses to enter the little world. In the beginning, he was confident with his strength. The three major celestial sects of the Wasteland, the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect in particular, would definitely select him to enter the little world as long as he demonstrated his strength. Unexpectedly, the course of his plans had changed even though his objective remained the same. The change happened when Juana's appearance was revealed. In the end, it led to Duan Lingtan deciding to join the Taiyi Celestial Sect instead of the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. Moreover, he was directly given the title of Chief Celestial Alchemist by the Taiyi Celestial Sect. The title was undoubtedly an honorable one. With that title and status, it would be easy for him to help Long Fian ascend the throne of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom even if he did not join the Martial Dragon Celestial Kingdom and to enter the little world. Sect leader Bai Ping, as far as I know, the Wasteland Grand Contest didn't use to impose an age restriction in the past. Why did it suddenly change? Duan Lingtan asked even though he had already roughly known the reason from Brother Pei. Master Duan, I was planning to tell you this sooner or later even if you didn't ask. Bai Ping said with a smile. He was already aware that Duan Lingtan was a great overarching golden celestial who was under the age of 100. Therefore, he had already reserved a spot for Duan Lingtan to enter the little world left behind by a celestial king. After all, it would be a waste to deny a talent like Duan Lingtan to enter the little world. An age restriction was imposed for this year's Wasteland Grand Contest because Bai Ping honestly told Duan Lingtan everything he knew, including the little world that was left behind by a celestial king. His eyes shone as he explained what he knew to Duan Lingtan. At the end of the contest, the three major celestial sects will select people to enter the little world. With your capabilities, Master Duan, you'll definitely be selected. Moreover, after entering the little world, with your strength, it's even possible for you to gain many treasures, including a royal-grade celestial weapon. His voice turned more and more excited and he continued to speak. If others were to obtain the royal-grade celestial weapon in the little world, they would need to hand it over. However, if it's you, regardless of how many royal-grade celestial weapons that you obtain, you're free to keep it. Bai Ping made a generous promise to Duan Lingtan. Sect leader Bai Ping, isn't it too early to say these things? How do you know if I'm willing to enter the little world or not? Based on Duan Lingtan's words, it was apparent he did not take Bai Ping's promise seriously. Master Duan, it's a rare opportunity to be able to enter the little world. If I were younger, I would definitely seize the chance and enter the little world. Bai Ping found it difficult to understand Duan Lingtan's thoughts. I suppose you're right. However, it's only considered a great opportunity if you're certain you can survive in the little world, Duan Lingtan said lightly. If I'm not mistaken, the three major celestial sects of the Wasteland had sent many powerhouses below the age of 100 into the little world before this, right? Most importantly, none of them survived. Bai Ping fell silent. Indeed, it was just as Duan Lingtan had said. The three major celestial sects of the Wasteland had sent many powerhouses below the age of 100 into the little world, and yet, none of them lived to come out from the little world. There were no exceptions or doubts, all of their soul pearls had shattered. Master Duan, since you are one of us now, I'll be honest with you. The three major celestial sects of the Wasteland had indeed sent young powerhouses younger than the age of 100 into the little world. However, it was done in a haste without much planning. The strongest person who was sent in there was only an Indigo Sun Golden Celestial. Therefore, with this contest, we're not going to send anyone weaker than a Violet Sun Golden Celestial into the little world, Bai Ping explained. Previously, an Indigo Sun Golden Celestial had died. How are you so sure that a Violet Sun Golden Celestial wouldn't die in there? Although I'm a great overarching Golden Celestial, how sure are you that I won't die after entering the little world? Duan Lingtan retorted. Bai Ping was speechless. He had no answer for Juan Lingtan's question. Even if a great overarching golden celestial who was under the age of 100 like Juan Lingtan found the little world dangerous, it seemed like there was no hope for the three major celestial sects to obtain the treasures in the little world. In the end, he said, Master Juan, your concerns are justified. Although I really want you to enter the little world, and I truly think it would be a waste if you don't enter, I'll still respect your decision whatever they may be. If you're unwilling, then, I won't force you to enter. You're right, sect leader Bai Ping. With my capabilities, it would truly be a waste if I didn't enter the little world. In any case, there's still some time before the Wasteland Grand Contest starts. Let me consider it, Juan Lingtan said with a nod. Yes, you should really consider it. Bai Ping agreed with a nod. Initially, he thought it would be a walk in the park for a great overarching golden celestial under the age of 100 in the little world. However, after listening to Juan Lingtan's words, he began to doubt himself. Who could say for sure that it would not be dangerous for a great overarching golden celestial under the age of 100 in the little world? At this moment, three voices rang in unison from outside. Sect leader. The three prominent celestial alchemists had finally arrived. Three masters, please come in, Bai Ping said. Master Juan had come early and had been waiting for a long time. A hint of dissatisfaction could be heard in his voice. Juan Lingtan saw two old men and a middle-aged man. These three were obviously the three prominent celestial alchemists in the Taiyi celestial sect. One of the old men with a medium build who was dressed in a grey robe asked, Your Master Juan? He blatantly sized Juan Lingtan up and rudely extended his divine consciousness to probe Juan Lingtan. After that, the old man staggered for a moment before he stabilized his footing. A hint of contempt could be seen in his eyes as he said, You're not even 100 years old? Not even 100 years old? Upon hearing this, the other old man and the middle-aged man instantly extended their divine consciousness to probe Juan Lingtan. They found out that Juan Lingtan was, indeed, not even 100 years old. The other old man was tall and burly, and he was dressed in a green robe. He said skeptically, a prominent celestial alchemist who's not even 100 years old? The middle-aged man dressed in a blue robe who was skinny and had a permanently gloomy expression on his face said, Since the sect leader says he's a prominent celestial alchemist, then, it must be true. After all, with luck, it's not impossible to obtain a prominent celestial fire. Finally, the grey-clad old man shifted his eyes from Juan Lingtan to Bai Ping and asked skeptically, Sect leader, is he really able to refine the overarching heaven pill? Able to refine the overarching heaven pill. Chapter 2790, Incredible Cauldron Heating Speed. The sect leader of the Taiyi celestial sect, Bai Ping, hesitated for a moment. Then, he nodded and said, Yes, Guardian Taya, and I can attest to it. In fact, he had not personally witnessed Juan Lingtan refine the overarching heaven pill nor seen the pills. However, he trusted Tai unconditionally, so he had no qualms vouching for Juan Lingtan when Juan Lingtan was being doubted. Oh? The grey-clad old man seemed surprised that Bai Ping had vouched for Juan Lingtan. The three men looked at Juan Lingtan, clearly still skeptical. They were already reluctant to accept that Juan Lingtan was a prominent celestial alchemist who was not even 100 years old. Needless to say, they were even more reluctant to believe Juan Lingtan was able to refine the prominent celestial pill, the overarching heaven pill. After all, to refine the overarching heaven pill, not only did the prominent celestial alchemist had to be skilled, but even the prominent celestial fire that was used had to meet high standards. However, the higher the level of the prominent celestial fire, the less skill was needed from the prominent celestial alchemist. The grey-clad old man looked at Juan Lingtan and bluntly said, Master Juan, I'm Situ Ming. I'm a prominent celestial alchemist and a revered elder of the Taiyi celestial sect. Can you show us how you refine the overarching heaven pill? I promise that as long as you're able to refine the pills, I'll willingly acknowledge you as the chief celestial alchemist of the Taiyi celestial sect. Despite Situ Ming's seemingly polite words, It was filled with barbs. However, Duan Lingtan was not bothered. He only smiled and asked, "Master Situ, are you speaking for yourself or for the other two masters as well?" As he spoke, he glanced at the green-clad old man and the blue-clad middle-aged man. The green-clad old man replied immediately, "Master Duan, if you can refine the overarching heaven pill, then I'll acknowledge you as the chief celestial alchemist of the sect." "Me too." The blue-robed middle-aged man concurred. Before the three prominent celestial alchemists of the Taiyi celestial sect had arrived, Duan Lingtan had already learned their names from Bai Ping. The grey-clad old man was Situ Ming, the green-clad old man was Yang Chong, and the blue-clad middle-aged man was Yu Zongjing. "Since the three masters have agreed to it, I won't waste any more time," Duan Lingtan said. A cauldron appeared as Duan Lingtan raised his hand. It was the prominent celestial pill cauldron that Long Fian, the 13th prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, had obtained for him. Since Bai Ping knew Duan Lingtan was going to refine the pill now, he raised his hand and set up a noise-cancelling formation to protect him from being disturbed. Upon seeing this, the three prominent celestial alchemists were slightly taken aback. They did expect Duan Lingtan would agree so readily. Is he really going to refine the overarching heaven pill? Can he even refine the overarching heaven pill? Impossible. How old is he? He's not even 100 years old. Even if he managed to become a prominent celestial alchemist before the age of 100, and even if he obtained a superior prominent celestial fire, it would still be impossible for him to refine the overarching heaven pill. The three prominent celestial alchemists exchanged a look as they communicated through voice transmission. All of them were skeptical of Duan Lingtan's ability to refine the prominent celestial pill, the overarching heaven pill. "Well, let's just wait and see if he can refine the pills." "You're right. If he really succeeds in refining the overarching heaven pill, even if it's mainly due to his superior prominent celestial fire, I'll still acknowledge him as the chief celestial alchemist even if he's not as skilled as me." Although Duan Lingtan was surrounded by the noise-cancelling formation set up by Bai Ping, it was invisible to the naked eye. Therefore, the three prominent celestial alchemists could clearly see the refining process. Initially, they looked on in contempt as they observed Duan Lingtan's techniques. They felt it was a misnomer to call him a prominent celestial alchemist since Duan Lingtan did not even use the pill cauldron in the correct manner. However, as soon as Duan Lingtan summoned his third form Chaos Divine Flame, which everyone thought was a prominent celestial fire, the three celestial alchemists lost the contemptuous expressions on their faces. They were thoroughly shocked by what they saw. At this moment, a grey flame danced in Duan Lingtan's palm. As soon the flame appeared, it leapt into the pill cauldron and began the second step of refining the pills by heating the pill cauldron. "What kind of celestial fire is that?" When that celestial fire appeared, my celestial fire became agitated. It was as though it was trembling in fright. "You felt that as well?" "I thought I was the only one. I really didn't think he'd be able to refine the overarching heaven pill. However, I'm not too certain now." Outside the noise-cancelling formation, the three men whispered among themselves as they observed Duan Lingtan refining the overarching heaven pill. They were clearly shocked by the third form Chaos Divine Flame that they thought was a prominent celestial fire. Similarly, Bai Ping was shocked as well. "Master Duan's prominent celestial fire is so strong?" The three prominent celestial alchemists were prideful men. However, when Bai Ping saw the shocked expressions on their faces when Duan Lingtan summoned his third form Chaos Divine Flame, his confidence in Duan Lingtan increased by many folds. Although he had supported Duan Lingtan earlier due to his trust in Tai Tai he was still anxious since he was not familiar with Duan Lingtan. After seeing the flame that Duan Lingtan conjured up, he was much calmer now. Soon after, Duan Lingtan stopped heating the pill cauldron and began to bring out the necessary ingredients. "It's over." Heavens! Such a short time has passed. Is this a joke? The three prominent celestial alchemists were familiar with the average time needed to heat a pill cauldron. Duan Lingtan's speed was way too fast. They knew the speed to heat up a cauldron was related to the strength of the celestial flame, But this speed was too exaggerated even if Duan Lingtan's prominent celestial fire was extraordinary. They were dumbfounded by how fast it took for Duan Lingtan to heat the pill cauldron. Situ Ming muttered, "It takes me at least 9 hours to heat up the pill cauldron, and yet, it only took him half an hour. This is crazy. I'm roughly about the same as you. Half an hour is just too preposterous." Yu Zongjing said in shock and disbelief. "Is he playing a trick on us? It would be a waste of the ingredients if the pill cauldron isn't heated properly," Yu Zongjing said with a frown. All celestial alchemists knew that pill cauldrons had to be properly heated to guarantee the success of refining pills. It would be impossible to refine pills if there was even the slightest mistake in this crucial step. "I don't think so. The ingredients to refine the overarching heaven pill are highly valuable. I don't think he would waste it like that." There's a chance that he really succeeded in heating the pill cauldron in half an hour, Yang Chong said despite his doubts. "Impossible." Yu Zongjing said disapprovingly and vehemently as he shook his head, "Among the three of us, I have the fastest speed in regard to heating pill cauldrons. In the entire wasteland, only Xiao Yu-chan from the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect is faster than me. It'd take me about 8.5 hours to heat up my pill cauldron. Even Xiao Yu-chan needs 8 hours to successfully heat up his pill cauldron. It's impossible to heat a pill cauldron in just half an hour. Even the most skilled prominent celestial alchemist with the most extraordinary prominent celestial fire would take at least 5 hours to heat up the pill cauldron." Yu Zongjing did not believe at all that Duan Lingtan had completed heating up the cauldron in half an hour. "He has begun to throw the ingredients into the pill cauldron," Situ Ming said through voice transmission, causing Yu Zongjing to regain his senses. "Isn't the way he's feeding the ingredients to the pill cauldron too messy and unrefined?" Yang Chong was utterly baffled by Duan Lingtan's unsightly techniques. In any case, the technique of feeding ingredients to the pill cauldrons was not important. In the Devata realms, there was a total of 9 steps in the process of refining celestial pills. There was the positioning the cauldron, the heating of the cauldron, retrieving the ingredients, feeding the ingredients to the cauldron, refining the pills, dissolving the pill, gathering spirit, forming the pill, and harvesting the pill. The crucial steps that would determine the outcome of the pill refinement were the cauldron heating, pill refining, pill dissolving, spirit gathering, and pill forming. Spirit gathering, and pill forming.